Hey everybody, my name's Brett from New Grad Media. I'm going to be taking you through the Ultimate Financial Calculator today. So this tool was built for you to help you do a few things. One is to keep your budget, so you'll have your expenses and your income, and you'll be able to see what your budget looks like. The other is also to compare an offer for, let's say, a per diem job versus a benefited job. So if you want to see what that looks like, you can put it in here and you can see the difference between the two offers. And these are approximates. These give you kind of a good estimate or a good overview of what would be going on. So in this left-hand column, we have everything to do with expenses. The first thing here is going to be tax rates. So you'll put your federal and your state tax rates in here. Again, approximates. If you want to look real quick to see what your rates are, you can click this. This will take you to a link that will show you what the tax rates are state by state. If you have any retirement savings currently, you can put that number in here, and that will help you in some of your projections in different tabs on this spreadsheet. Here you have your monthly expenses. So any expenses that you have, you can put in these categories. I included some common ones here, but if you have other expenses, you can add more or you can subtract. Whatever you want to do here is fine. This is all open for you. The blue color is areas where you can change the cells. You can really change any, but these are the ones that I would recommend changing. Short-term savings are savings that you plan throughout the year. So if you want to go on vacation, if you're visiting family, if you want to buy clothing, any expense that's not reoccurring and that may be a bigger expense that you want to plan for, you can put in here. And then at the bottom here, this will calculate out all of your expenses monthly and then all of your expenses for the year. The second category is for a benefited position. So you can see what you would be making with a benefited offer. So first thing you can do is you can put in the hourly rate here, and that will calculate out your yearly rate for you. And then you just transfer your yearly rate to here, or you can just write the yearly rate in if that's what you know. The next thing is the benefits. So what percent of your salary would you consider that the benefits are going to be worth for you? If you have a family, it's going to be worth more, maybe around 20%. If you're single and don't have a family, it'll maybe be worth more, around 12%, and that has a lot to do with the value of your health insurance benefit. This category is for retirement savings. So if you're going to make any personal contributions, which I recommend doing, especially if your employer is going to match the contribution. So if you have an employer that matches the contribution, you put it in this second box. And if you are going to be making that contribution, you put it in the first box. If you want to put more than your employer is going to match for you, that's great. And you can put it in here and then just leave the employer contribution at the level that they're matching. If, however, they're not matching a percentage or you're not putting in a percentage, you're putting in a fixed value, you're going to put that number in here and then you'll just leave that top blank. And that's the same that will go for these categories as well. So down here, everything's going to calculate out for you, the personal savings that would calculate from these numbers, the employee contribution and the total. And this category is for an overview of what's going on. So you have your monthly expenses, your retirement savings, your long-term savings. This you can change based on really what's going on with everything else. So if you see that you have a lot of cash left and you don't like that, you'd rather put it into savings, you can put it here. So we would make this 6%, but as you see, then we would run out of money. If you like to have more in the cash category, you could put this at 3% or 2%, and then you'd see that you have more cash left if that's something that you want to look at. And then everything with your earnings is calculated out here. One box to note is this bottom box, and this one is used to compare your per diem offer to a salaried or benefited offer. And that's just to say that here, these expenses are going to subtract out from the expenses that you have here. So you would use these for the per diem offer, and then you would subtract them from the benefited position because you wouldn't be paying those. So your health insurance benefit would be covered, your liability insurance benefit would be covered, those would subtract out, and then you would have a nice comparison between the amount that you'd be paying with the per diem position versus the amount that you don't have to pay with the salaried position. So to put in the information for your per diem position, you would choose your hourly rate. You can put it in. It will calculate out a daily rate for you and add it here. You can choose how many days you would be working per week if you want to just experiment and see what your income would look like if you worked 4 days a week or 3 days a week. That'll all calculate out for you, and you can really just experiment, have some fun with it, and see what would happen if you worked X amount of days per week. And then weeks per year. So I put 50 weeks here because I was calculating 2 weeks off. So I just put that in there to see what the numbers would turn out to be. And then everything here functions the same. Long-term savings, you can change all these numbers. So here you see we have a lot of cash left, so we can put maybe 10% in long-term savings, or really do whatever you want with these numbers. And again, this is kind of just to give you more control, and so you're able to see a little bit more of a big picture. And that's all going to translate to these graphs here. So the first one we're going to have is a comparison summary. And this is going to compare your per diem position to your benefited position. And you'll be able to see what that looks like over the course of many years. So as you see in the first year, obviously there wasn't any big difference, likely because year one was 2015 and we're in 2016 now. But then you see over the years that it would make a big difference depending on what position you change. And again, this is an overview. It doesn't account for any raises or anything like that over time, or what your position would do if it changes. So this is just an overview, and possibly in the future I could build a new one that can calculate out things such as raises over time and things like that, if you guys give me feedback that that's something that you want. So this next tab, the third tab, would be the per diem summary. So this will show you a cash flow of what your finances would look like over time with the per diem position, with the information that you put in here. So you can see your cash over time, and your cash left is your income minus expenses, and then that's just adding up over time. And then same thing here. It also will be calculating out your retirement savings based on the numbers that you have, and your long-term savings as well. And then this graph here is just a snapshot of what you will have over a 5-year period. And your net worth is the total value of all of your assets. And this graph just gives you a graphical form of the information that you have over here. Benefited summary is the same thing. It's just going from the information that you have in the benefited categories. And again, this will give you that same 5-year timeline to see what you have. So that's the ultimate financial calculator for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Just visit us on the contact page and we will get back to you, or comment on the bottom of this article. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy.